and I'm going to start 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. People are just starting to roll in, so we'll give them a minute to get online. I think when we get to 25, if we get to 25, is when we'll start officially. Almost there. People are still rolling in. Here we go, 25. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. You are in the right place. This is our webinar on the Future Supply Actions Funding Program and our RFP for the next round of proposals. Welcome. We'll get started in a minute, but first I want to go over some housekeeping. We will have a presentation for you that goes over the FSA program and the proposal, how to put in a proposal. And that'll be followed by a Q&A session. So please put your questions in the Q&A box. We have because we're recording this, we have your video and microphone off. We're recording the webinar, like I mentioned, and we're going to be posting it to our website along with the slide deck and Q&A answers to our website. That's www.mwdh2o.com/FSA. You'll see that throughout this hour. And again, please type your questions in the Q&A box. So we're very excited to fund another round of the Future Supply Action Funding Program. This program is making real substantial positive impacts on Southern California's water supply picture, and we're honored to be a part of it. This program supports climate resiliency. It supports our climate adaptation master plan for water, and it's going to help us secure our water supply future. At this point, I want to turn the meeting over to Jonathan Jordan. Jonathan is on our FSA team, and he's going to be providing today's presentation. Jonathan, take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here at this pre-bid webinar today to talk about our Future Supply Actions Funding Program. I'm Jonathan Jordan. I work in MET's Resource Development team within the Water Resource Management Group. Please feel free to place your questions in the chat or reach out to our team if you have any questions after the webinar. Quick overview of today's presentation includes the program background, details on the current funding round, RFP proposal requirements, and additional time at the end to answer any questions you may have. So background to the FSA is the FSA funding program was established within the 2010 IRP. Since 2010, Metropolitan has provided 2 rounds of funding to member agency studies. The program's purpose is to drive innovation by piloting new approaches, removing barriers, and providing a regional benefit through the exchange of information and regional studies. The FSA program really focuses on innovative water resource development for the groundwater, stormwater, reuse, and desalination fields. Core program elements for the FSA funding include up to $500,000 of Metropolitan funding per member agency or per study. The Metropolitan funded amount must be matched dollar for dollar by the member agency funds. Studies should be feasible within a 2-year time frame. Proposals for the studies are solicited through an RFP, which is why we're here, and they must meet minimum qualifying criteria and the proposals will be evaluated by an expert panel. Round 3 will also see the return of the Metropolitan hosted FSA Symposium. The symposium really allows all of the program participants to collectively showcase and celebrate studies and pilot tests that the FSA program has funded. The first and second FSA funding program rounds funded 13 studies and 14 studies in 2013 and 2018 respectively. The FSA website, shown at the bottom in yellow, has all the reports and presentations that have been a part of our program in the last 2 rounds. I invite everyone here to look at the previous studies as you begin to consider potential proposals for round 3. Additionally, any round 3 updates or announcements will be posted on this webpage as well. The third FSA funding round will fund up to 8 studies or up to $3 million. Up to $500,000 of funding will be provided per member agency or per study. We will offer FSA funding in more frequent, regular cycles and anticipate that the next RFP will release in 2025 or 2026. Some minor changes we've made compared to the last 2 rounds are mainly streamlining efforts in this round, and they include removing retention and allowing member agencies to have flexible invoicing options. We're also going to write in a 1-year extension provision for those studies that are delayed. We are incentivizing member agency partnerships this round as well for projects that for a member agency that partners with at least 2 other member agency partners. Member agency partnerships objectively demonstrate a regional benefit, and we would like to provide an incentive for those able to collaborate on a study. The schedule, the RFP was released on December 1st, 2023. The next item on our schedule is closing the questions for clarification next month on January 12th. The responses to the questions will be posted on the FSA website shortly after. Proposals are due on February 5th, 2024. We hope to bring recommendations to our Metropolitan Board and make the final awards by the second quarter of 2024. And work should generally be starting on the studies in quarter 1 of 2025, or by quarter 1 of 2025. The RFP is open to Metropolitan member agencies. Each proposal must have 1 Metropolitan lead agency. Member agencies can partner with other Metropolitan member agencies or any other entity. As a reminder, we are incentivizing partnerships through a 5% scoring bonus for the proposal for studies with 1 lead Metropolitan member agency and at least 2 Metropolitan member agency partnerships. So you need a total of 3 member agencies for Metropolitan to qualify for the scoring bonus. Additionally, to qualify for the scoring bonus, partners must contribute at least $10,000 to the study. I also want to remind everyone that 1 single member agency can only get a max match for all of their studies, whether they're a study lead or partner, of $500,000. The FSA funding program is really meant to fund pilot and bench skills demonstration or integration studies. Additionally, the FSA program rewards proposals that include innovative processes or new technologies. The FSA program is not intended to fund existing studies or projects or to fund the general standard reports such as urban water management plans. Construction, design, and CEQA documentation of projects also do not qualify for funding. We will also not fund repeat studies, multiple similar studies, or proposals that include different elements of the same study. If 2 proposals with these criteria are submitted, only the top ranking study will be funded. The agreement terms for the FSA funding program include a 2-year study and flexible invoicing options. We will provide the option to extend the agreement for 1 year for delayed studies. The final report and presentation will be required for the final payment, and we encourage all the FSA program participants to participate in the symposium at the close of the FSA funding round, tentatively scheduled to be roughly around winter 2026. Proposals should be submitted to us in PDF format with standard formatting guidelines. The proposal, including attachments, should be at most 20 pages. The appendix does not count towards the page count. However, the materials presented in the appendix should be exclusively containing reference or supplementary content that aren't directly used in the proposal evaluation. We also encourage proposals to be as clear, accurate, and comprehensive as possible. Proposals can include up to 5 support letters, no longer than 1 page each. The support letters should be included in the proposal appendix and provided to Metropolitan by the proposal submittal deadline. A reminder that the materials in the appendix do not count towards the page count, so the letters of support will not count against the proposal page limitation. Any proposals that don't conform to the requirements outlined in the RFP may be rejected. But please feel free to contact me or anyone on our team if you need any clarification, and our team would be happy to help you. 5 reviewers, made up of a mixture of internal and external subject matter experts, will be evaluating on the proposals for this funding, for this FSA round. The reviewers will rank the proposals on a ranking criteria that can be divided into the 5 categories seen in the table below. We will briefly review the ranking criteria in the next slides as we close out the presentation, but I want to mention that the top 3 ranking criteria make about 2/3 of the proposal evaluation scoring. So that's the area that I think we should focus on more when you're submitting a proposal. The first criteria, removes barriers for supply resiliency, is weighted at 30%. The proposal should describe how the proposed actions increase future local supply potential. The proposal should also describe how the proposed actions are critical to resource resiliency and planning, and how the proposed actions remove barriers to supply development. Some examples to barriers that the study could address is technical, regulatory, permitting, and institutional barriers to supply resiliency. Finally, the proposal should describe how the proposed actions increase regional climate resiliency or safeguard local supplies. The second criteria, regional benefit and applicability, is weighted at 20% in the ranking criteria. The proposal must describe how the results of the study would apply to the regional stakeholders. The proposal should also describe the co-benefits that the study brings to the region. Some example co-benefits to include within the proposal could include water quality, energy, wastewater impacts, or environmental considerations that result from the study. Criteria 3 is innovative process, approach, or technology, weighted at 20%. The proposal should describe how the study actions are unique and innovative. The proposal should also describe how these actions advance the field of knowledge to develop future water resources. Finally, if applicable, the proposal should describe how the study or test results potentially enable follow-up actions necessary for state or federal regulatory acknowledgement, or wide-scale technology implementation. The fourth ranking criteria, work plan, is weighted at 15%. The proposal should provide a detailed work plan describing each task and deliverable and how the proposal's success will be measured. The proposal should define potential challenges, should identify the potential challenges, issues, and prerequisites related to the study implementation, and describe how these challenges will be addressed. The proposal also needs to include a list of all of the required permits for the study, the expected award date of the permits, and the impact on the work plan if permit issuance is delayed. The last criteria in this proposal ranking is costs. The proposal should include a study cost breakdown in table form, which details the total monetary funding required and not requested in Metropolitan. The proposal needs to provide a list of all of the study funding sources, whether they be grants, donations, or partnership funding. The cost effectiveness of the proposal work plan budget needs to be described. And lastly, the proposal must detail how the lead agency will commit the funds to the project before the final agreement is signed. Now, if you have any questions, and I know we had a lot of content in the last few slides, please feel free to contact us. I'm Jonathan Warren, team manager, and also on our team, Christine and Patrick, and we'll be happy to help you if you have any other questions after the webinar. If not, feel free to type them into the chat right now. The next steps. Updates or announcements for the FSA funding program round 3 will be posted on the FSA website. The next deadline is for the questions of clarification submissions, which will be on January 12th. We will be accepting proposals up until February 5th, 2024 at 2 p.m. Please email proposals or any relevant correspondence regarding the FSA funding program to the FSA funding program email listed at the bottom of the page. And now I'm going to turn it over to Patrick. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask him, and we'll try to address them or help you out as we get through this process. Patrick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Murphy, also on the resource development team. We have a few questions coming in right now. The first one is, can one member agency submit multiple projects? And the answer is yes. But just to reiterate what Jonathan said, the max funding per member agency is $500,000. Next question is, can one member agency receive multiple awards? Yes, they can. But again, to a limit of $500,000 total per agency or per study. Then one more, it's a little longer, so bear with me. Is future groundwater well development an eligible expense? Some new wells need some exploratory drilling. I was curious if this money could help offset the exploratory aspect of those projects. I understand the full-scale design is not eligible. Just at face value, I'm going to say it would not qualify. We're really trying to reduce barriers. But if someone on the other team disagrees, please correct me.
No,
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, Warren.
Yeah, Patrick, I think that's right. I mean, it has to, this is the purpose of this program is to drive innovation. And so you'd have to think of an innovative element that would be a part of that project.
Yeah, maybe if it was an innovative drilling method that reduces costs that can be utilized by the region. But if it was just a standard conventional drilling method, probably not. Mark Galley, can the entire cost of equipment be charged to the project, even if the equipment will have value, useful life after the pilot? I'm referring to custom pilot equipment that is required for the study and not available for rent. Warren,
I think, yeah, let me take that one. In some cases, yes, the kinds of things that we wouldn't fund are things like computers, vehicles that could be used for other activities afterwards, but pilot-specific equipment generally can be included in the cost. We have funded things like sensors and other types of equipment through these studies.
next question, could you elaborate on what type of LOS, or I'm assuming letters of support you're looking for? Do you want them only from project partners, or would letters from member agencies be accepted? Anything that helps or supports your proposal. So I don't think we really have a restriction, or if there's anything we're really looking for.
Yep. Last time around, we were during this webinar, we had a lot of questions on the letters, and so we're trying to get out ahead in front, and they can come from member agencies, other types of partners, city councils, whoever you want. We just have a limit of 5.
I'm not seeing any other questions at this point, so please type them in if you have any.
We'll leave it open for a minute. I am not seeing any. Well, Jonathan, you must have. Oh, here we go.
From your slide examples, you present a lot of stormwater and water use I'm guessing water reuse projects. Would you still be considering similar types of projects for this round? Yes, as long as it's within the 4 resources that we've outlined in the program, we would be accepting those for this round.
But I would add that, like, I would encourage you to look at the other studies that we funded in the past, because we would typically not fund a repeat study.
And all the previous studies can be found on the FSA website. Are these grants for the design planning projects or strictly for construction projects?
I think I'll take this one. I think the answer to that is for neither. These are projects definitely not construction. These are applied research, grants for applied research studies. So we call them studies, and it's to drive innovation. So pilot studies, demonstration studies. There can be like perhaps feasibility studies of an innovative technology or approach. So I would encourage you to go to our website and look at the studies that we funded in the past for the kinds of studies and that we would be funding through the program. I hope that answered the question.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any other questions at this point.
All right. So we will be closing out the webinar shortly. Again, we'll be posting everything to our website. Consider that our one-stop shop for all things Future Supply Action Funding Program. As Jonathan mentioned during the presentation, if you are with a member agency and want to meet with us directly, please contact anyone on our team and we'll set up a meeting to talk about anything you want to talk about. And at this point, I want to thank Patrick, Christina, and Jonathan for their hard work standing up this webinar, and also the program itself. Without them, this would not be possible. I also want to thank Nicole Richardson from our external affairs team, Alondra Espinoza from our legal team, and Ryan Roman from our IT team who helped us with this webinar. I also want to thank all of you for participating in this webinar and for the FSA program in general. These studies help us drive innovation in the water industry, which is so critical now as we address the impacts of climate change. We just fund these studies. They actually wouldn't happen without you. And we're looking forward to your proposals. Keep this date in mind, Monday, February 5th, 2 o'clock. That's when everything is due. And at this point, this concludes our presentation. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye now.